Welcome to AI News Digest 2026-0606. Today's 5 stories. Story 1. Anthropic and OpenAI are so desperate for compute they let Broadcom finance custom AI chips. Story 2. CrossView Suite. Harnessing CrossView spatial intelligence of MLLMs. Story 3. AI Model Release Tracker. Latest releases LM market cap. Story 4. Why AI chatbots have trouble detecting rare mental health conditions such as intermittent explosive disorder. Story 5. GitHub AI Topic Repository Rankings. Github-Ranking-AI. Story 1. Anthropic and OpenAI are so desperate for compute, they let Broadcom finance custom AI chips. Hundreds of millions of people around the world are quietly turning to AI chatbots for mental health advice. ChatGPT alone now has over 900 million weekly active users, and a significant share of those conversations touch on emotional and psychological well-being. That scale sounds impressive, and in many ways it represents a genuine expansion of access to mental health support. But a new analysis by Dr. Lance Elliott in Forbes is raising a pointed and uncomfortable question. What happens when someone's condition is rare? Elliott focuses on intermittent explosive disorder, or IED, a psychiatric condition characterized by sudden, disproportionate outbursts of aggression. It's not something you'd encounter every day in a therapist's office, and that rarity is precisely the problem. AI systems like large language models are trained on enormous amounts of text, and the mental health content in that training data skews heavily toward common conditions: depression, anxiety, burnout. The models learn to think in those terms. So when someone describes symptoms that could be IED, the AI is statistically inclined to explain them through a more familiar lens. Critically, Elliott notes that this is not purely an AI failure. Human therapists and psychiatrists fall into the same trap. Rare conditions are deprioritized because the base rate, the raw probability that any given patient has a low-prevalence disorder, is so small. It's the classic needle-in-a-haystack problem, and both human and artificial minds struggle with it equally. But the scale at which AI operates makes this more urgent. Even a small error rate, spread across hundreds of millions of users, translates into potentially millions of people receiving guidance that steers them away from the correct diagnosis. For someone with IED, that could mean years of pursuing the wrong treatment medication for anxiety when what they need is targeted behavioral intervention for explosive episodes. The implications reach beyond any single condition. Developers building AI mental health tools need to stress test their systems specifically on rare psychiatric presentations, not just common ones. Regulators may need to require explicit disclosures about diagnostic limitations, and users themselves should understand that while AI can be a useful first resource, it is not equipped to catch what even experienced clinicians sometimes miss. Elliott's column, drawing on over 100 prior analyses, and including a CBS 60 Minutes appearance, is a well-timed reminder that the mental health AI boom carries real, under-examined risks hiding in the long tail of psychiatric medicine. Story 2. CrossView Suite. Harnessing CrossView spatial intelligence of MLLMs. If you want to know where the global developer community is placing its bets on artificial intelligence, one of the best real-time signals is GitHub star counts. A repository called Github-Ranking-AI, maintained by Yuxie Peng and automatically updated every few hours, tracks exactly that, ranking the most starred and most forked AI repositories across more than a dozen topic categories. The snapshot from June 6, 2026 tells a clear and consequential story. At the top of the LLM category sits a project called ECC, with over 208,000 stars. It describes itself as an agent harness performance optimization system, supporting Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, and other coding AI tools. Right behind it is AutoGPT with nearly 185,000 stars and over 46,000 forks, that fork count being the highest in the top 10, meaning tens of thousands of developers have taken the code and built something new on top of it. Third place goes to Hermes Agent, billed as the agent that grows with you, with 183,000 stars. The pattern is unmistakable. The most popular AI repositories in 2026 are not model weights or fine-tuning libraries. They are agent frameworks. Autonomous, memory-equipped, tool-using AI agents have become the central obsession of the open-source developer community. LangChain, DiFi, and Langflow all appear in the top 10, reinforcing this shift from building models to orchestrating them. Llama is another standout. 173,000 stars for a tool that lets you run large language models locally on your own hardware. Its description now lists 6 or more distinct model families it supports, including several Chinese models like DeepSeek, Kimi, and GLM. This reflects a developer community that is increasingly wary of cloud API dependencies and eager to keep inference private and cost-controlled. And then there is perhaps the most striking data point of all, a repository containing nothing but a single text file, a Claude MD configuration document derived from Andrej Karpathy's observations about LLM coding pitfalls, has accumulated nearly 169,000 stars. No code, no framework, just practical guidance from a credible voice. It speaks volumes about what developers actually need right now. Not more infrastructure, but reliable answers to the question of how to make these tools actually work well. Story 3, AI Model Release Tracker, latest releases LM market cap. The third item in today's analysis is the LM Market Cap AI Model Release Tracker, a web tool designed to provide a real-time view of the latest large language model releases across the AI industry. The concept is straightforward and genuinely useful. Think of it like a cryptocurrency market cap dashboard. But instead of tracking coin prices, it tracks which new AI models have just launched, who made them, and how they stack up. In a world where new models are being released almost daily by labs ranging from OpenAI and Anthropic to open-source communities and academic institutions, having a centralized aggregator for this information is a real need. Unfortunately, when this page was retrieved for analysis, it returned nothing but a loading screen. The words "loading rankings" were all that came through, a sign that the site relies on JavaScript to dynamically render its content, which standard web crawlers cannot easily access. So while the tool itself may be valuable, we simply cannot analyze what it contains today. What we can say is that the very existence of sites like LM Market Cap is a meaningful signal about where the AI industry is. The release cadence of new models has become so rapid and so fragmented across so many organizations that informal tracking has become insufficient. Just as financial markets needed Bloomberg terminals and stock tickers to impose structure on complex information flows, the AI ecosystem is developing its own infrastructure layer for tracking model releases, benchmarks, and competitive positioning. For researchers, investors, and product teams, tools like this could become essential daily reference points. The challenge, as this retrieval illustrates, is making that information reliably accessible, not just to humans browsing a website, but to the automated systems increasingly used to monitor the AI landscape at scale. Story 4. Why AI chatbots have trouble detecting rare mental health conditions, such as intermittent explosive disorder. This analysis examines the structural limitations of generative AI and LLMs when applied to detecting rare mental health conditions, using intermittent explosive disorder as a case study. The piece digs into why training data sparsity and pattern matching limitations create specific failure modes in clinical AI applications. It offers substantive insight into the safety and reliability boundaries of deploying LLMs in high-stakes healthcare contexts. Story 5. GitHub AI Topic Repository Rankings, Github-Ranking-AI. A daily auto-updated list of the most popular AI repositories on GitHub ranked by stars, providing a real-time signal of what open-source AI projects are gaining traction in the developer community. This is a practical resource for tracking open-source momentum in the AI ecosystem. It spans all AI topics, making it useful for identifying emerging tools and frameworks.